Welcome to my channel. These slides that are rolling by are an indication of some of the things that I cover on a regular basis in my videos. Once you have watched the video, I would appreciate it if you would click the like button and leave a small comment. It's really a big help to the channel. The YouTube logarithm, when it sees that, promotes the channel more and will be more viewers. I would appreciate that very much. Thank you for watching.
Well, hello everybody. It is fresh cranberry season here. Time of year when you can get fresh cranberries in most of the supermarkets. Later on they're available, but they're usually frozen. And I love cranberries, so I'm going to be making a cranberry orange bundt cake. And orange and cranberry go together very well, in my opinion anyway. So right now I have the oven preheating to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. You may hear it go beep 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 at some point here when it reaches that temperature. I'll bring you over and show you the ingredients that I have laid out here. I think I have everything in that one shot, so forgive me if I don't, I guess. I'm going to be using my Bunt pan, crazy one with the swirls, the only one that I have. And a product that I've never used before, I actually didn't know it existed until I saw something on a television program a few weeks ago. It's a baking spray as opposed to just the oil spray. It has flour already in it, so it oils, greases or whatever, and flours the pan all at the same time. And there's 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, into which I've already mixed 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. There's 1 cup of sour cream. Fortunately, you can buy sour cream with a cup. Won't be anything left over. 1 cup of sugar. 3 large eggs. The zest of an orange and the juice of an orange. 1/2 cup of butter. Excuse me. As I said, the 1/2 cup of butter, which is 1 stick if you buy your butter in sticks. 2 tablespoons of sugar. 1.5 cups of cranberries. And that is the ingredients for the cake part. There's also a glaze that goes on, but we'll do that later. So I'll get the stand mixer out and we can get busy putting this together. When we get started, we'll prepare the pan, I guess. The first time of using this. Oh, that is nice, isn't it? This flour coating everything there. Smells good too, whatever it is. Doesn't smell like flour, it has a nice fragrance. That will do, I guess. And now 2 tablespoons of sugar get added to the bottom of the pan. I guess that's to make a nice crispy top, evidently. And on top of that, about 1/4 cup of the cranberries get added to the bottom. I'm not measuring. All the cranberries are going into the cake. So there's the stove up to temperature. Beep, 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 beep. I'll say that's 1/4 cup, close enough anyway. First step is to cream the butter and the sugar. And that's a process that takes 4 or 5 minutes. We want the mixture to sort of turn a lemony color and nice and smooth. So we'll get it started, but I won't make you watch 4 or 5 minutes. Bring it back and show you what that looks like once it's creamed. Well, I went for a little over 4 minutes. I'll see if I can get you in to show you the color there. I think that's good enough. Well creamed anyway. And now you add the eggs one at a time until they are incorporated. don't know if I mentioned previously or not, I'm using an unsalted butter because there is salt that has already been added to the flour and baking powder. See how lucky I am at getting one egg at a time. I usually end up jumping in two whether I want to or not. So far so good. Now the juice of the orange. And the orange zest. I think I might just scrape that down a bit, I guess. Most of it's down where it should be, but there's some that's sticking to the side. And we start adding the flour and the leavening and the salt. Probably do at least 2 additions. I'll also scrape that down, make sure we get everything in there. Now I'm going to take it off of the stand mixer to add the cranberries. If you put the cranberries in on using the stand mixer, most of them will be crushed probably. Wouldn't be me if I didn't forget something. I just looked on the table and still have the sour cream here, so incorporate the sour cream before the cranberries go in. Very glad to find a 1-cup container of the sour cream, because it isn't something that I use a great deal of. That's good. And now I'll put the cranberries in. I'll fold in the remaining cranberries. If they don't all settle and go to the bottom, it should be a very pretty cake when it's cut anyway. I think that's the idea of putting some in the bottom of the pan. When you turn it out, those will at least be on top. It's a fairly thick batter. They may not all settle out, but whatever. I'm anxious to try it. How much of this that I'm doing that you can actually see. It's kind of difficult to do it and watch the camera at the same time. I have put batter over the top of the hole there. Just lick that off my finger. It tastes good. I love orange flavor anyway. And I'm sure orange with cranberries will go beautifully. Well, I think that's just about all of the batter in. Made as much mess as I can make. I'll just drop it a couple of times to get any air pockets out and settle it down. Now it goes in that 350 degree oven for 50 to 55 minutes or until done. Did it ever smell good baking? I think it's the orange more than anything. I toyed with the idea of adding orange extract. In the end, I didn't do that. Shut the timer off there. And I think it's going to be okay without it. It certainly has a lot of orange fragrance. Well, now it sets and cools for 5 minutes before I attempt to take it out of the pan. It's had its 5 minutes rest. Now we'll see if I can flip it out of there. Imagine that pan is still, yeah, still very hot. Ta-da! It came out anyway, and now it has to completely cool before I can put the glaze on, so that'll be an hour, hour and a half or so. I'll bring you back when it's time to glaze it. Well, it's cooled down completely and I've removed it from the wire rack, and now I'm going to make a glaze, an orange flavored glaze. There's a cup of confectioner's sugar in this bowl and a couple of tablespoons of the freshly squeezed orange juice. Looking for something in a pouring consistency, something that will just run down over the Bunt cakes. If I have to add a little more liquid, I will. But it was suggested 2 to 3 tablespoons of orange juice, and I only saved 2. But it also said it could be made with milk or water. So if I think I need to add anything, I'll add a little water. I don't think it's necessary. It's quite runny enough and quite smooth. It's hard to do that because when you're looking at the camera screen, you have to do it in reverse to get it where you want it. But I'm just going to pour this and let it run down over the cake. More orange flavor. The smell when it was baking was wonderful. Mostly what I was smelling was the orange. I love orange flavoring in anything, so that was good. That's all in the glaze. Makes a nice gooey thing to eat. I'll cut a slice in a minute and see what we think of it. Let's see if I can cut a slice here. As you can see, the cranberries all through it everywhere. I'm anxious to give it a try. I want to get cranberry in my first taste of it. Oh yeah. Very good. The tartness of the cranberries and the orange flavoring everywhere in the cake and in the glaze. This will go down a treat with many cups of tea. Well, probably not many. That is very good. And I think, as you've seen, if I can do it, anybody can. It's quite simple to do. I hope you'll give it a try. Thank you very much for watching.